Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to our next lesson, process of problem solving. This is for our unit cognition and thinking. So our objectives to analyze strategies for problem solving and to identify obstacles towards problem solving. And our standards, take a look at them please. Desired result, what are ways to solve problems? So vocabulary, we have algorithm, a step-by-step procedures for solving a problem. Heuristic is a rule of thumb problem solving strategy. Mental set, habitual strategy or pattern of problem solving. Functional fixedness is an inability to imagine new functions for familiar objects. So problem solving strategies. The use of strategies or specific methods for approach to problems is the key to problem solving. So example could be breaking down a complex problem into a number of smaller, more easier to solve sub-goals, and they are immediate steps towards a solution. An example of this could be trying to pass all your classes. You might break the course assignments into a weekly planner, such as maybe Monday you do math, Tuesday science, Wednesday history, and so on and so forth. Now, some problems may require you to work backward. Writers of a mystery will frequently do this. So what they'll do is they frequently establish the ending, like maybe who committed the crime, or whatever the case may be, and then they devise a plot with clues that lead to conclusion. So they know who the person is going to be, who the who the criminal is, but then they'll work backwards and create clues. That way, they can lead you towards the end of the book. Another way to problem solve is you might be required to examine various ways of reaching a desired goal. So an example could be you have an appointment at 11 a.m., but the bus you usually take does not arrive until 10:55 a.m. Well, this could be a problem because obviously you might be late for your appointment. So you might research other bus routes, times, or you might find another way to get to your appointment. And again, these are all ways of problem solving. So you might try to find another solution to the problem. Now, we tend to analyze problems to see if they are similar to things we have experienced before. We typically apply past strategies to see if the old strategy can be used with a new problem. However, the more unusual the problem, such as something you may have never experienced before in your entire life, it might be more difficult to come up with a problem-solving strategy. So, hope this doesn't happen. Let's say you're driving your car and you run out of gas and you've never experienced that before. You might not know how to solve the problem, but if it's happened to you before, you might, have a solution. You might say, okay, I'll call AAA, I'll call a friend, whatever the case may be. Using algorithms. Step-by-step procedures for solving problems are known as algorithms. They are usually fixed sets of procedures that, if followed properly, will lead to a solution. Examples of this include like mathematical and scientific formulas, because you're following the same set of rules and procedures to solve the problem. Playing checkers or chess can also be examples since we follow set rules. So you might know, in chess, the pieces can only do certain things. Like they can only move forward or backward, they can only move side to side. So you know the rules for that, and everyone knows the rules to that game when you're playing it. Heuristics. Algorithms are used in finding solutions, but they're also time consuming, right? I mean, think about sometimes when you might have to solve a long math problem, there's some different steps to it, so they can be time consuming. Shortcuts that are used to solve problems are called heuristics. They involve using rule of thumb strategies to solve a problem quickly and easily. So for example, if a friend comes to you for advice on a problem, you might give them solutions that you have tried that have worked for you. So maybe they say, hey, I'm having trouble with, balancing my work and my school schedule. You might say, you're not going to give them the step-by-step procedure. You're not going to say, well, on Monday I think you should do math, or Tuesday I think you should do science. You're going to say to them, well, maybe you should make a weekly planner. It worked for me, and break your classes up. So you just provide them a shorter cut. You're not going to actually say, hey, do this assignment this day. You're just going to say, hey, here's a shortcut for you to try that works for me. Now, the problem with heuristics is that they may result in bad decisions since we can ignore, important information during shortcuts. So, for example, maybe you give your friend the idea of the weekly planner, and your friend doesn't really use it that well, or doesn't do what you said to do, and it winds up doing more harm than good. So that could be a problem as well. Now, there are problems to problem solving. So despite success, some useful problem solving strategies may become stuck in the problem solving process. And this is called a mental set. A mental set is treating problems in a certain way. So you might only look at solving a problem a certain way, and this could lead to problems. If a set interferes with problem solving, it's known as rigidity. So, for example, functional fixedness is an example of a mental set. So people may not be able to use a familiar object in an unfamiliar way. This was by Dunker in 1945, or around that time period. And on the picture here, I provide an example of his situation. So look at letter A here. They gave people a matchstick, some matches, a box of thumbtacks. So we have matches, a box of thumbtacks, and a candle. And what the experiment asked to do was to attach the candle to the wall using only these objects. Okay. Now, typically, if we look at that and we go, well, I can't do that. How am I gonna, I could maybe try and put the thumbtack through the candle, but the candle's too thick, so it won't stay. I can't use the matches really to do anything with. So this is functional fitness because we don't see the object other than what they are. We don't see the thumbtack as something else. We don't see the candle as something else. But look at part B here. The solution to this is to take a thumbtack, okay, circle that here, take the box, and use the thumbtack and push the thumbtack into the wall to hold the box upright, and then the candle will be attached to the wall technically. Okay, so it's not physically attached, but it is attached to the wall. Okay, so just an example of functional fixedness, not seeing objects in a different light or different way that they could be used. So other problems involving rigidity include a person making a wrong assumption about a problem. They can be overcome if a person can realize that their strategy is not working and they look for another solution. So, for example, if the person just gives up on this problem, says, I can't attach the candle to the wall, then they've given up. But if they keep trying and trying and trying to figure out another solution until they eventually figure it out, how to attach the candle to the wall, that could be an example of them overcoming it. All right, so our closure here, what are ways to solve problems? So think about algorithms, heuristics, functional fixedness, things like that of that nature to help you answer this question. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or evening, and I'll talk to you guys soon.